Hey y'all, I'm Jordan with AviNation. We're here at SUNnFUN 25, and we're doing TramTalk. I'm going to go ahead and let you introduce yourself and who you're here with.
Okay, my name is Gideon Gunalsus. I'm with Heavenbound Aviation in Johnstown, Ohio, and we mainly do flight training and sell for Aeroprakt USA, which is a light sport aircraft.
Perfect. So can you tell us what sets you guys apart from other people?
Well, our light sport airplane is very versatile. So, number one, we're all over the world. We're in almost every continent, every state here in the U.S. So compared to other planes, a lot of people think they're easier to get into. They're faster than most LSAs. They're cheaper than most LSAs as well. So they're very affordable, and they deal with weather really well. With the wind, direct crosswind, stuff like that. They're really easy to handle. A smooth operation, great customer service. We're based in Ohio, so we can always do stuff for you guys. And we also do flight training in tailwheel airplanes and in those. Get your private, your instrument, your commercial, and your CFI.
So you guys got it all figured out.
All figured out, yes.
Speaking of airplanes, I want to hear your story of how did you first get interested in aviation and how did you get into this path?
Well, when I first started, I went an air show with my family. We were originally from upstate New York. So we went to Rochester, which is a very major part of New York. We went to they had an international air show there, and I saw the Thunderbirds and the F-22 flying around, and I was hooked from there. That was where I was going. That's what I want to do when I grow up. So we went and joined Civil Air Patrol. Did that for about 3 years. Got my first flight lessons through them. And then we moved to Ohio, and I realized I needed more time to fly. I really wanted to set everything aside, and I wanted to fly. And, contacted the EAA, got some flights with the EAA, but it still wasn't cutting. I wanted to fly every day. I wanted to keep going. So we hooked up with a guy at Heavenbound Aviation. His name's Andy Humphrey. He owns the company. He owns Aeroprakt. He owns Stewart Systems as well, which is a waterborne paint company. And we do work in exchange for flight training. So now I'm an intern there, and I work the air shows, and I'm a salesman for them, and I do some mechanic stuff for them as well, and I work in exchange for that flight training. I just got my private pilot certificate.
Congratulations!
So thank you. Yeah, and I'm working on my instrument now, and continue to progress from there.
That is great. You got everything going on. What's your favorite part of being an intern for them?
Flying. Flying is the best part. But learning is the air shows. Going on a trip for a week and just sitting out here with everybody, talking to everybody, meeting everybody, meeting new people, but also seeing the old people from the year before. It starts to become a family. You know everybody. Everybody knows you. It's just a good old time.
That's always what I say. I say aviation is just a big family. You can meet someone for the first time and connect over the fact that you have the same passion. And then once you start coming to shows more and more, you see someone, you're like, I know you!
Yeah, exactly.
It's so great. What would you say to people who are wanting to make connections and don't know how to go about it?
Well, find a flight school near you and just start asking questions, Hey, what do you guys do? What's the price of what you guys do? But even ask me, hey, what would you guys do for, if I worked there in exchange for flight training, even scrubbing the floors like where I started off. Because a lot of flight schools are having trouble looking for people to become CFIs and teach, and a lot of people in aviation want to start taking young people and get them involved. So they're willing to take you up for a flight, and if you work for them, they always have something to do washing airplanes, and they'll get you involved. Other thing is get involved with EAA, get involved with AOPA, get involved with your nearest EAA chapter, and they'll send you on from there. Get involved with Civil Air Patrol. Those are great organizations to get it started.
I think getting involved is just, you have to do it, all or nothing, right?
Yeah.
You miss all the opportunities that you don't try for. So what's the worst that happens? They say no?
Yeah, and the biggest thing is to ask. Not asking is a guaranteed no.
For sure. I totally agree with that. And I think that's a piece of advice in itself. If you don't ask, you don't know, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So I can very much see your passion. How do you keep working? I know obviously you want to fly, but how do you get through the studying and all the stuff that isn't just being in the air and all the fun?
It's balance. A lot of people are like, get it done now. Get it done so you don't have to do it. Balance. Fly, do some ground stuff. Fly, do some ground stuff. Learn. Keep school and flying in balance. Now, don't go do basketball and fly because you don't have time for that. Sports, that's one thing with sports. You got so much time in the sports, you won't be able to fly that much. But if you balance your time well, it's time management, you'll be completely fine.
That is actually so true. And do you have any advice for how to have good time management?
I'm still learning how to do that. That's the thing. The majority of me is just dedicate your time to flying. You know, keep a balanced mind, get a good amount of sleep. You know, don't get up too early in the morning, but pace yourself. Create a schedule, kind of. So, you know, okay, I'm to designate this block of time to learning, to doing this. So you're not falling behind, but you're not getting too far ahead where you're losing everybody else. That's the big thing. Some people go too far ahead, and they can't understand what they learned 2 days ago.
For sure. I think that's really good advice. And honestly, with aviation, I think there's always something to learn. You're never going to not be learning, right?
Yeah.
What are you currently learning that you didn't maybe know before?
Well, flying. That's the big thing, but I'm working on my instrument right now. So that's, you know, flying in the clouds, doing all that type of stuff. So I'm learning that. And then cross-country flying, that's the main thing. We flew from Ohio down to Florida. So that's a lot, going through different airspaces and learning, you know, meeting new people along the way, how to fuel your plane and all that. There's always just something new. Even little small stuff about your engine, about, you know, how fast your plane goes. There's always going to be something new.
For sure. And you flew down here, as you just mentioned.
Yes,
Can you
ma'am.
give us a highlight from your flight, maybe a favorite memory?
Ooh, favorite memory. It was a long flight. We had a 14-knot headwind coming down, so about 10.5 hours. But my favorite memory was turning final for Lakeland International here. We got the big runway, because we got here before the NOTAM became active. So all the lights, it was nighttime, it was 8 p.m., all the lights were shining. It was like a city down here. So it was just a beautiful sight to see.
I'm so glad that you guys got to experience that, especially at SUNnFUN. Everything just hits so much better with this show, honestly.
Yeah.
What's been your favorite part of SUNnFUN besides the night air show, like the aircraft? Do you have a favorite airplane that's here that you've got to see or want to see?
I love the F-35. The F-35 and the F-22. I love when they fly around. I love the rumble from the engine thrusters, and they're great planes to watch fly around. But I'm really looking forward to the Blue Angels today.
For sure, that's going to be so cool. They always are so great. It's going to be a great watch.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you, I actually just sat down with your sister. Tell me what it's like having your sister be into the same thing as you. I think that's so cool that you guys can share a passion.
Yeah, it's a fun time. It's someone to bounce ideas off of, to learn. Like, we just went around learning something new. She learns something new, she tells me. I learn something new, I tell her. And we got fighter jet. And then it's just someone to, you know, tag along with. If I can teach her something, I can teach her something. It's like starting a CFI, but at a younger age. Someone to teach someone new.
For sure.
It's just a fun time, because after we can do trips together, we've done them. It's just a great time.
I think it's just so great because, like I was talking to your sister about, not always are siblings going to have the same interests, so the fact that you guys have that, I admire that so much. Do you have a favorite memory with your sister involving aviation?
Probably so. Probably flight down here. This is the first really major flight that we've taken together to fly down here. So that was just, it was a great time. Teaching her how to work the radio, teaching her certain things about the airplane and how it works and how to work through airspace. It was a great old time.
That is so cool. And she got the Rising Star. What did you think when you seen your guys' face on that? What did that feel like?
At first, I wasn't expecting my face to be on there. This was all her thing. I was expecting, you know, she got it, I was all happy for her. And next thing you know, my face is on there too. So I wasn't really expecting that, but I'm really proud of her. She's put a lot of work in to earn that.
For sure. We love seeing a good brother-sister duo, though. It's so cool.
Yeah.
For real. Okay, I want to ask you, if you could give the younger people in aviation a piece of advice, what would you tell them?
Start young. Don't wait. Don't be like, oh, I can't do it because of my money problems, or, you know, I don't know if I'm smart enough. But go fly. Because I am not the smartest person in the world. But I can fly an airplane. You know, you learn, you dedicate yourself, and it's practice, practice, practice. Go hang out at your local airport. Meet people. Like, and I said earlier, ask, send an email to a flight school. Hey, can I come out and see what you guys do? You know, can I get a flight or something like that? Just ask and practice is the main piece of advice that'll get you far in aviation.
For sure. I think that is a great, solid piece of advice. And I think that's a really high note to end this on. So thank you so much for coming, sharing all your knowledge, talking about all the fun stuff. I hope you enjoy the rest of the show.
Yes, you too. Thank you.